Hi folks, this is Jay. We're looking at this book, and we're looking at chapter The Preacher and the Living Word by Woodhouse. And he talks about the Word of God in the New Testament, and we read in 1 Corinthians chapter 1, 17 and 18, Christ did not send me to baptize, but to preach the gospel, not with words of human wisdom, lest the cross of Christ be emptied with its power. The message of the cross is foolishness to those who are perishing, but to us who are being saved, it is the power of God. 1 Corinthians 1, 17, 18. So there, the New Testament, when we're preaching the Word of God, we're to preach the gospel, we're to preach the cross, and it's seen as foolishness, but it leads to salvation. That's the living Word. In 2 Corinthians 4, 1, 2, therefore, since through God's mercy we have this ministry, we do not lose heart. Rather, we have renounced secret and shameful ways. We do not use deception, nor do we distort the word of God. On the contrary, by setting forth the truth plainly, we commend ourselves to every man's conscience in the sight of God. We're to set the word of God before people, to people's conscience. In Philippians 1:12, 14 and 18, now I want you to know, brothers, that what has happened to me has really served to advance the gospel. Because of my chains, most of the brothers in the Lord have been encouraged to speak the word of God more courageously and fearlessly. The important thing is that in every way, whether from false motives or truth, Christ is preached, and because of this I rejoice. He says to speak the word of God more courageously and fearlessly, that we've got to be bold in that proclamation. Let's read 1 Peter 1, 23, 25. All men are like grass, and all their glory is like the flowers of the field. The grass withers and the flowers fall, but the word of the Lord stands forever. We've got to realize that this is an eternal word that we're preaching. 1 Thessalonians 2:13. And we also thank God continually, because when you received the word of God, which you heard from us, you accepted it not as the word of men, but as it actually is, the word of God, which is at work in you who believe. This is truly the word of God, and it's at work in people who believe. Hebrews 4:12. For the word of God is living and active, sharper than any double-edged sword. It penetrates even to dividing a soul, spirit, joints, and marrow. It judges the thoughts and attitudes of the heart. The word of God goes deep into men's hearts. So it shows here that the Bible's understanding of the Bible is very dynamic. That the Bible is a dynamic word, so when we're preaching it, we're preaching a dynamic word.